So we will start in a child's pose. So right away, let's bring our knees nice and wide, moving slowly, taking good care of the body, toes together, and then we'll walk those fingers out. Dropping the forehead all the way down. Really sink those hips back. Allowing that crease between the hip and the thigh to deepen. Allowing the belly to soften. The heart and underarms to sink. And we're lengthening through the spine, all the way through to the fingertips. And on each breath, we allow ourselves to sink even further. And right away, we'll press those fingers into the mat. Start to lift up, rolling through the spine, coming to tabletop. So hands and knees, lining hands right underneath the shoulders, knees right below the hips. And we'll drop the belly, taking our cat-cows. Inhaling to look forward. And exhaling round, tuck the chin. Inhale, drop and look forward. And exhale, round. Inhale, drop. And exhale to round. Inhale to drop. And exhale to round. Finding a neutral spine. Nice long neck. We'll inhale to reach that right arm high. And thread it through, bringing right shoulder down to the mat. Pressing into the left hand, we'll start to lift back up, unwind. Right hand comes down. We'll drop the belly, lift the gaze, take our cow pose. And exhale, round cat. Back to neutral. Nice long spine, long neck. We'll inhale, left arm lifts. And then we'll thread it through, left shoulder coming down to the mat. Really pressing both hips to the back wall to find a square shape. Pressing the right hand down, we'll lift up to unwind. And bring that left hand down to meet the right, dropping the belly, taking our cow pose. And exhale, pressing up cat. Back to neutral. So really making sure that we're in alignment here. We'll send that right leg back behind us, either toes still touching the mat or lift it up to a hover. Feel that core start to turn on as we lift up and out of the wrists. And we'll start to shift our weight over to the right hand as we send the left arm forward, thumb to the sky. Finding this reaching from fingertips all the way to your right heel. We'll inhale to lengthen, and exhale, bring elbow to knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Last time, we'll bend that back leg. Reach the left arm around. Then take our tiger pose, so grabbing onto the front of the back foot and pressing into that hand to open the chest. This is a balancing pose, so if you do fall out of it, just give it another try. One more breath here, really pressing foot into hand. And we'll release the hand down, pulling that knee into the chest. We'll step it through, coming into our low lunge. Aligning ankle right underneath the knee. We'll send those hips down and forward as we reach the arms up, taking our crescent lunge. For stability, we're squeezing those legs towards the midline. Noticing this arch in the spine, rather than trying to increase the arch, rather sending that back knee down and lifting up and out of the front hip. And from there, finding length and allowing the body to lift up as we slowly lower. Releasing the fingertips down to frame the front foot. We'll start to pull the hips back, taking our half splits. Keeping a nice bend in that front knee so we can get into that hip this morning and get into that hamstring. And then just start to wobble that foot even further away from you. So you can walk it out, you can shake it back and forth on your mat, whatever works for you. Just try to walk it out even further. Just a couple of inches, so you really feel that knee is below or even in back of this left hip. We'll walk the right hand over to the left side of the leg. So both hands are on the left side. And then we'll continue to walk the hands out to the left upper corner. And as we do so, we'll send those hips back. So feeling this really nice long stretch through the right hamstring. Breathing deep here. We'll start to walk those hands back underneath us, making sure that right hand comes right next to or even slightly below the right leg, still on the inside. And then we'll start to shift that right leg out to our side. So send it out from where it is, pressing down into the hands until it's out to the right. From here, we'll plant that right sole of the foot down on the mat or on the floor. Inhale, reach that left arm up to the sky. And we'll thread it through, bringing the left shoulder down to the mat. And really use that right hand as your kickstand, so as a little extra support here. We'll continue drawing a circle with this right leg. So draw that toe all the way back behind you now. Coming onto the ball of the foot. Walking the right hand underneath the shoulder will unwind. This might be a little bit wobbly. So try to find and regain that balance. Coming down onto the hands, keeping that foot right behind us. We'll tuck the left toes. We'll take a hover. So keeping the left toes tucked, we'll reach that right heel up to a hover once more. And press the ball of the left foot down as we lift that knee off the ground. We're here for 3, for 2, and on the 1, we'll shift our weight to our left hand, flipping onto our bottoms. From here, crossing right ankle over the left thigh, and just taking this seated pigeon pose. So taking that knee as close or as far away as you'd like, keeping the feet flexed. And taking any small movements that feel good, so a nice rock back and forth. Jumping right into this hip stretch. We'll let the whole shape drop over to the left until the sole of the right foot is connected to the earth, turning our gaze over the right shoulder. And the more that we think about sending this right knee up to the sky, the more we'll feel it in the psoas, the IT band, all stretching. And we'll allow ourselves to unwind, coming back to our tabletop position, hands and knees. We'll take that whole journey on the second side. So making sure that we're in alignment, shoulders over wrists, knees below the hips. And we'll send the left leg out behind us. Toes either connected to the mat or coming up to a hover. Really lifting up in that lower belly to protect the back. And then we'll shift the weight over to the left hand as we reach our right arm in front of us, thumb to the sky. Noticing any creasing action happening in the lower back. So really try to reach heel and fingertips as far away from each other as we can. We'll take an inhale to lengthen and exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to lengthen. And we'll bend that back leg, reaching up and around, taking our tiger pose, grabbing a hold of the front of that left foot and pressing foot into hand as our chest opens up to the front of your room. Once again, this is a balancing pose, so be kind to yourself if you fall out of it, if you're feeling a little bit wobbly. We'll stay here for one more breath, really opening up in the front of the body. And release that hand back down, drawing the knee into the chest. We'll step it up and through, coming into our low lunge. Squeezing both legs towards the midline, we'll reach those arms all the way up, taking our crescent. Calming the breath here. We'll melt those fingers down to the mats, pulling the hips back, taking our half splits. So keeping a nice bend in the front leg. And we'll start to walk that left heel even further forward. So whatever you have to do here, if you want to inch those toes forward, if you want to rock the heel side to side and just kind of allow it to get up there, we want to get up far enough that the knee is slightly behind the right hip. We'll bring the left hand to the inside of the left leg, and then start to walk those fingers out on the upper right diagonal as we send the hips back. I find that this stretch feels really nice on my hamstring. Sometimes the half splits can be really intense, but just shifting it slightly to the side can ease the intensity for me a bit. We'll start to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, keeping them to the inside of the leg. And we'll send that left leg out to our side, using our core to shift the leg, planting the sole of the left foot on the ground. We'll reach up as we inhale, right arm to the sky. And exhale, thread it through. So you might have to shift a little bit to find this threading action. Once you get down here, make sure to use that left hand as a kickstand. Really pressing the sole of the left foot into the mat. A nice good morning ring out of the organs, just twisting everything up top. Staying here, we'll continue the circle of our left leg. So start to draw those toes back behind us, finding a square position in the hips. The ball of the foot connects to the earth. We'll plant the left palm and start to reach all the way back up, unwinding. Both hands come down. So we're in this modified plank pose, right knee down. We'll start to lift that left heel once again, making sure the pinky toes are drawing down nice and square. And we'll tuck the right toes. Pressing all the way up to a hover, letting that right knee shift off the mat. Holding the core here. We're here for 3, for 2. And on the 1, we'll flip over onto our bottoms, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. Taking this seated pigeon pose, and any small movements. allow this whole shape to fall all the way over to the right side, connecting the sole of the left foot with the ground, pressing knee up to the sky. Turning the gaze over the left shoulder. And then we'll unwind, coming back to our tabletop. From here, we'll tuck the toes, walk the hands out about an inch or so, and start to lift up into your first downward facing dog. So in this first down dog, keeping the knees soft, pedaling out the heels, really trying to find that lift in the sits bones, reaching up and out of those heels. Making sure that we're not locking the elbows, so keeping a small, small bend and pressing into all 10 fingers as well as the knuckles and the palms. We'll take one more cycle of breath here. And then we'll bend the knees, heels lift up, gaze shifts forward. And we'll make our way to the front of the mat. Forward fold, feet hip width distance apart, letting the head fall heavy. Feeling all four corners of both feet connected to the mat. And we'll press down as we lift all the way up to rise. Arms reach out wide, up to the sky, as our palms kiss together and come down to the heart. Feeling the foot to earth connection here. A lifting through the inner legs, grounding through the outer. We'll inhale, arms will reach out wide, scooping the air around us, out to the sky. Then we'll bring the palms together and down to the heart once more. We'll interlace the fingers and press the palms out in front of us. Shifting this position up to the sky, we'll reach the palms up. Trying to pull the arms behind our ears as much as we can. Again, palms come down and forward. And then reaching the palms back up. Trying to pull back even further. Opening that shoulder girdle. One more time. Dropping the palms. Press them forward. And lift it up. Pulling the upper arms behind the ears. Nice full lift back up, letting the arms break free of one another as we swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, pressing the palms against shins or thighs, crown reaching away. And exhale, hands come down. We'll step the feet back, high plank. Inhale to look forward. On an exhale, we'll begin to lower all the way down to the belly, pulling the elbows into the side body. Let's walk the fingertips out nice and wide, taking our puffer cobra. So pressing fingertips down, elbows are up, as we lift the heart, lift the gaze. And exhale, lowering down. We'll shift the hands back underneath the shoulders, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment, pedal it out. We'll bend the knees, shift the gaze forward, and step or hop your way to the front of the mat. Forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands come down. We'll root the feet down as we lift all the way up. Arms come wide. They draw together, down to the heart. We'll interlace the fingers once more, just taking one set this time, pressing the palms away. Reaching them up to the sky, opening up. And exhale as we open the arms, forward folds. Diving all the way over. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come down. We'll step it back, high plank. We'll inhale to look forward. And we'll lower halfway, trying to hover here. And then come all the way down to the belly. Bringing the hands wide for our puffer cobra. We'll lift up, opening the heart to the front. And exhale, lower it down. Hands come underneath the shoulders. We'll press up and back, downward facing dog. Bending the knees, shifting the gaze forward, step or hop. Front of the mat. Forward folds. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, root the feet as we reach the arms wide, coming to stand. Hands come together and down to the heart. Last time, we'll press those palms away from us, reaching them up to the sky, opening up the shoulders. And release the fingers, opening wide, swan dive over. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, hands come down. We'll step it back, high plank. And this time, feel free to take chaturanga to up dog or lowering down to the belly as we were doing before. If you're lowering to a chaturanga, lowering halfway, elbows pulling into the side body, and then shift forward, hips staying off the ground, up dog. We'll all meet in a down dog, pressing the hips up and back. Taking a cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time here, cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. We'll inhale, shifting the weight over to the left, right leg reaches high, three-legged dog. Keeping that leg nice and square, pinky toe drawing down, heel lifting up. And on an exhale, we'll step that foot in between the hands, coming into a low lunge. So dropping the back knee, untucking the toes. Hips drawing down and forward as our chest opens up to the front wall. We'll take our right hand to the inside of the right foot. Both hands are planted. And then we'll come onto that outer blade of the right foot, so letting the knee fall open just a bit. Either staying here or reaching that right arm all the way up and around towards the back foot. So this would be our second option. And for our third option, we can take this quad stretch, lifting up the left foot and grabbing a hold of it as we press foot into hand, opening the chest up to the right wall. We're here for 3, for 2, breathing deeply, and on the 1, we'll gently release that foot, bringing both hands down, framing the front foot once more. We'll tuck the back toes and shift into our warrior 1. So stepping that foot up just slightly, planting it down at a 45-degree angle as we reach the arms all the way up. So feeling both feet connected and pressing down into the mat as our hips draw to the front wall, arms reaching up and out. We'll bend the elbows, open the chest, taking our cactus arms. Arms re-extend and fold all the way over, framing the front foot. Coming back into our runner's lunge. We'll step the right foot back to meet the left plank pose. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, belly to cobra or chaturanga to up dog. And we'll exhale to all meet in downward dog together. Inhale, second side, left leg rises. Nice long line from hand all the way to heel. Then exhale, step it in between the hands. Coming into our low lunge, dropping the back knee, untucking the toes. And drop those shoulders and press the heart forward. And we'll take the left hand to the inside of the left foot, coming to the outer blade of the left foot, so allowing that knee to fall open again. We'll plant the right hand, reaching the left arm all the way up and back. We can either stay here, or we can take that quad stretch, coming onto the front part of that right knee, making sure we're not directly on the kneecap, but leaning forward. So we're resting right above it, allowing the chest to open up to the left wall, keeping our breath steady. Final breath. And gently release that leg back down. We'll frame the front foot, tuck the toes, and lift all the way up, warrior 1. Planting the back foot, 45-degree angle, reaching the arms up. Nice strong bend in the front knee, firmly pressing down into both feet. Bending the elbows, opening the chest. We'll re-extend the arms, reaching out and down to frame the front foot. Coming back to our runner's lunge, we'll plant the hands, step the left foot back to meet the right. Belly to cobra or chaturanga to upward dog. So we'll inhale to look forward. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift, heart opens. Exhale, press it up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. We'll bend that knee, open up the hip. You can send a couple kicks towards the glute. Whatever is necessary to open up even more. Trying to keep both hands pressing into the mat evenly, so not allowing the weight to shift from one side to the other. Trying to lift that knee up even more. We'll re-extend the leg, square it off, step it all the way through, keeping the hands on the ground. Coming into our runner's lunge. We'll shift the right hand to the inside of the right leg, and then swivel the back foot down so it's planted, coming into these warrior two legs. And then we'll start to walk the fingertips out on the upper left diagonal. So walk them out as far as you can get your hands to go, and then pull the hips back against it. So this is a really nice variation on humble warrior. Really pulling the hips back away from the fingertips. Deepening the breath. And we'll start to walk the hands back underneath us, planting our right hand to the inside of our right leg. From here, we'll start to extend the right leg, reaching the left arm high, coming into our triangle pose. So as we straighten that leg, think of sending both hips to the back wall and really opening the chest up as much as we can. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling really open now in this front leg after all that stretching. Sending a bend back into that front knee. And we'll lift all the way up, warrior two. Bending deeply into the front leg. Arms are reaching out. We'll start to straighten the front knee, turning into a parallel position as we reach both arms up, biceps by the ears. And then we'll come back to our warrior two, bending that front knee. 2 more times like that, straightening that leg, turning it parallel, both arms lift. And exhale to open back up, warrior two. 1 more time, inhale, shift, parallel, straight legs. And exhale, warrior two. Let's lift back up to that parallel position, straightening both legs, arms lift up. We'll open our arms to a T and take a flat back all the way over, wide-legged forward fold. Letting the hands rest on the mat. And let's bend through the left knee, shifting the hips over to the left. And then switch, bending the right leg. Bending the left leg, then the right. 1 more time, shifting to the left, bending the knee, back to the right. We'll stay here, walking those hands towards the right foot. We'll turn the right toes back to the front, coming back to these warrior two legs. We'll bring right elbow onto right thigh, reaching the left arm forward, coming into our side angle. On an inhale, we'll lift up just a little bit and reach the right arm forward as well. So as if we're holding a ball with both of our hands above our head. Holding here for 3, for 2. On the 1, we'll shift to our runner's lunge, hands frame the front foot. Shifting the back foot to parallel, we'll plant the hands and kick the right foot all the way up, 3-legged dog. Bending that knee, opening up the hip. You can either stay here, or if you'd like, you can flip your dog. So dropping those right toes slowly to the mat, as close to the left shoulder as we can, and then opening the hand up to the front wall as we lift the hips up high. Making sure that we can breathe here. If we are unable to breathe, definitely come out. We've gone too far. And if you're in your flipped dog, we'll come back over, coming into our downward facing dog. We'll shift forward, plank pose. Inhale to look forward. And take belly to cobra or chaturanga to upward facing dog. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And right away onto the second side. Inhaling, left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Bending the knee, open up the hip. Maybe take some kicks towards the glute if that felt good on the first side. And then sending that knee even higher. Re-extending the left leg, coming to parallel. And then we'll step that foot through, coming to our runner's lunge. Left hand comes to the inside of the left leg. We'll plant the back foot down firmly in our warrior 2 legs. As we start to walk the fingertips out on the upper right diagonal, walking as far as we can go, and then pulling the hips back against that action. So notice if you're gripping anywhere, the toes, maybe the shoulders. Allow the body to just sink into the stretch. And we'll start to walk the hands back. Left hand coming to the inside of the left foot. And we'll start to extend through that left leg as we reach the right arm up to the sky. Drawing both hips towards the back wall. Opening the heart up as much as we can to the right wall, or even thinking about opening it up to the sky. And of course, if this is too deep, we can always grab a hold of the shin to lift ourselves up a little bit further. Really enjoying the openness. We'll bend through the front knee. And then use our core to lift our way up, warrior 2, pressing both feet down into the mat, bending deeply into that front knee. And from here, if you notice that you are sliding forward on the shifting, you can close your warrior 2 just a little bit for this first one. We'll straighten the front knee and shift to parallel. Both arms reach up by the ears. And exhale, come back to warrior two. Inhale, lift up, stretch the legs, parallel the feet. And exhale, turn back, warrior two. So as you can see, I'm already sliding. So feel free to step those feet closer together. And let's straighten the knees. Parallel. And exhale, warrior two. Stretching both knees. We'll turn to parallel. Arms reach up. And right away, we'll peel at the top, coming into a T position with the arms. And then flat back your way all the way down, wide-legged forward fold. You can keep the feet parallel, or this time if you'd like to get a little bit deeper into the hips, you can turn both toes out, heels in. And we'll bend into the right knee, shifting the hips. And then rocking through center, bending the left. Through center, right, center, left. One more time on each side, right and left. We'll stay here. If you were parallel, you shift the front foot to turn out. If you turned out, shift the back foot to a parallel position in line with the shorter edge of the yoga mat. We'll walk our hands towards the front foot and then bring the left elbow onto the left thigh. Right arm reaches up. Side ankle. We'll start to lift up just slightly, engaging the core, and then we'll extend that left arm out to meet the right, as if we're holding a ball in between our hands. Engaging the core, we're here for 3, for 2. On the 1, we'll shift to our runner's lunge, plant the hands, and send that left leg back, 3-legged dog, bending the knee, opening up the hip. If you did your flip dog on the first side, feel free to go into that here. So dropping that left toe all the way down, nice and gently flipping your hips up to the sky, reaching that left arm all the way in front of us. If you're in your flip dog, we'll come back to downward facing dog. And this will be the last Vinyasa flow. So we'll ripple forward, coming into our plank. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, belly to cobra or chaturanga to upward facing dog. We'll meet in downward dog. And slowly begin to lower the knees down to the mat, opening the knees as wide as we'd like, untucking the toes and sinking the hips back. Allowing the forehead to grow heavy here. And noticing any changes. So we began in a child's pose. So notice how the body has grown more flexible, how the muscles have released, how the breath has begun to slow We'll start to walk the hands back, coming to a comfortable seat. So instead of finishing on our back in our Shavasana, we'll finish in a meditative seated position. So just finding yourself in a comfortable seat. And let's take one hand to the belly, the other hand to the heart. And just feeling the rise of the belly, the rise of the chest. Allowing the eyes to be soft here. Taking this final moment for yourself to go inward, to check in with how you feel. And I want you to think about somebody that you care very deeply for. And take this moment to send them a message of love and care. Sending any peacefulness that you may have felt in this last 45 minutes over to them. We'll draw the hands together at the heart. And just think about that peaceful message. And now take that message for yourself as if someone else had sent it to you. Carry this message with you the rest of your day. And I wish you peace and happiness. We'll draw the hands up to the forehead, connecting with that third eye. And we'll take our final bow together. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope this left you feeling really great. If you enjoyed this sequence, please let me know in the comments down below. Like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content each week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.